24/7.
Good evening, welcome to Brass Tacks. I'm Zaka Jacob. First it was Kerala, now Tamil Nadu has become the latest flashpoint, the state where the governor and the government don't seem to see eye to eye. In Tamil Nadu, a group of members of parliament are even planning to petition the president, asking her to recall the governor, R.N. Ravi. They say at least 20 bills are pending before the governor, all of which has been passed by the state assembly. In neighbouring Kerala, there is an ongoing standoff between the governor and the state on the appointments of vice-chancellors. And today, the latest state happens to be the state of Telangana, where the governor, Tamilisai Soundararajan, has come out and said publicly that there were attempts by the TRS government to tap her phones. So who exactly in this ongoing war between governor and government, who is crossing the Lakshman Rekha?
Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Telangana. 3 states, one big fight. It's governors versus state governments. After repeated spats between the Kerala government and governor, the Pinarayi Vijayan cabinet decided to bring in an ordinance to take away the role of the Chancellor of Universities from the governor. But Arif Mohammed Khan remained defiant.
Let that stage come, and I had said whatever crisis comes, I will not sign on the address if you will try to control Raj Bhavan.
It's a similar story in Tamil Nadu. Calling Governor R.N. Ravi a threat to peace, the DMK has submitted a memorandum to the president seeking his removal from office. The memorandum listed 20 bills passed by the assembly that are awaiting the governor's assent. These include one to take away the governor's powers to appoint vice-chancellors and give them to the state government instead. In Telangana too, the ruling TRS has accused Governor Tamilisai Soundararajan of sitting on some bills forwarded by the government for her assent. Refuting the allegation, the governor claimed that her phones might be tapped.
I can take my own time to assess the bills. It was wrongly projected that I am sitting on the bills. I doubt my phone is taped. My privacy is interfered.
While the governor is an apolitical head who acts on the advice of the Council of Ministers, there are no guidelines in the Constitution for the exercise of the governor's powers. So who exactly is crossing the line here?
All right, let me go across to our full panel who's joining us on Brass Tacks this evening. S.G. Surya is spokesperson of the Tamil Nadu BJP. Will be joined by T.K. Silangovan, spokesperson of the DMK. Vivek Srivastava is a political analyst. Virag Gupta is a constitutional expert. S.G. Surya, let me start with you first. The DMK leaders, MPs and MLAs, etc., the MPs who've written a letter to the president, they claim that as many as 20 bills are pending with the governor R.N. Ravi. So why should they not ask for his recall?
This is not the first time that has happened. For several bills, there were explanations sought. Several bills were resent because the governor thought it doesn't comply with the constitutional provisions of this country. But I see it in a different way. Today, the DMK is taking the issue of the governor very seriously because he has been continuously exposing the lacunas of this government openly, unlike other governors. For example, there was a blast in Coimbatore that happened on the 23rd of last month. The governor goes on to make serious charges that there was a delay in handing over the case to NIA and crucial evidences were destroyed. So I think this is a serious charge. So I think the DMK wants to hide things and make props up issues that are not relevant. And also we strongly believe the governance failure in Tamil Nadu is ample that the people are very angry. The people are on the streets fighting every single day. There are protests arranged in the memorial of Mr. Karunanidhi by the doctors to whom the DMK government has promised something and did not implement. To hide their failures, they are taking up these issues. That is my clear stand.
Surya, can I ask one question before I go to Vivek Srivastava? Just on the bills, forget about the Coimbatore blast and all that for a moment. Just on the bills, are you suggesting that many of these bills have passed the assembly? Many of these bills have been voted unanimously, including by your party, your allied parties like the AIDMK. 234 members of the assembly have put their mind to this bill, but the governor knows better. Is that your position?
No. It is not that he has not cleared any of the bills as far as my knowledge. There are several bills that have been cleared. There are several bills that are taking its due time. It is they cannot point out a single instance where there is a unusual delay in any of the bills except for the NEET bill, for which the governor has sent the bill back to the government to modify.
Okay, let me ask Vivek Srivastava. In Kerala, it's a unique situation where the governor, as per law established, and not just in Kerala, across the country, the governor is the chancellor of all universities in the state. This is by law established. If the governor has asked for a panel of recommendations for vice chancellors to be appointed across a dozen or so universities in that state, what is the problem for the state government to give those names?
You see, there are a lot of problems. It is not only Arif Mohammed Khan. The problem started in 2014 when the BJP government decided to challenge the federal structure of the Indian constitution, and the various opposition ruled states they tried to intervene via the governor. I mean, a prime example is what happened in Jadavpur University when the governor, Mr. Dhankar at that time, went with Babul Supriyo, the MP at that time, and there was a big confrontation with the students from the left parties. I mean, activist governors is the call of the day. That is what we are all against, and this stands for all opposition parties. You take the example of Tamil Nadu. 20 bills have been returned. No legitimate reason has been given. Even the BJP spokesperson sitting over here has not been able to name a single bill and tell us what is wrong with it. So autocracy is trying to be prevailed upon. Mr. Arif Mohammed Khan has been given tweet after tweet and interviews after interviews on the social media. He has never criticized anything to do with the Bilkis Bano case, whereas on the other cases he is taking a very much pro-BJP line.
No. One second. No, Vivek. Let's stick to the issue at hand. The bone of contention between the state government in Kerala and the governor is appointment of vice chancellors. The governor says that many of the vice chancellors who have been appointed are not qualified, and that the established protocol is that there should be a panel of 3 names for every vice chancellor appointment that should be forwarded to him. That procedure was not followed by the state government. It's a simple contention.
I'll answer this question very specifically and clearly to you. The RSS is out to rewrite the history of this country. That is the first thing. They are intervening with the curriculum that has been followed for the last 70 years in the nation. You take JNU, you take the CBSE curriculum, and the same thing is trying to be influenced upon in the various universities across the nation, including Kerala. Now, Kerala being ruled by the communists who have been following the actual curriculum as it stands, the confrontation is due. They have changed the vice chancellor of JNU. If I tell you about JNU, you'll be shocked. Jamia is again being ruled by a very pro-BJP chancellor. There is no student union activity or elections allowed over there.
But so Vivek Srivastava, it's just a question of forwarding 3 names per university. Surely the CPIM has enough academics that it thinks worthy enough or qualified enough to suggest to the governor. Where is the question of curriculum
the point is, it is after the whole study, it is after the whole democratic process that we follow over there. The various experts settle down and we are zeroing on one particular name. Why is Mr. Arif Mohammed Khan against those particular names? This is my reverse question. The question is because the BJP top bosses sitting over there are not okaying those names.
No. I don't think his problem is with individual names. I think his problem is with the process. He says that the process has been violated. But let me get TK Silangovan. Again, in Tamil Nadu, the contention by the BJP is that other than the NEET bill, Mr. Ilangovan, all the other bills the governor has given his assent to or has forwarded for a legal opinion. The NEET bill is a different matter altogether. I don't want to get into that. But this whole contention that your party has raised that 20 bills are pending before the governor is inaccurate. That's the contention by the BJP.
Who is consulting? He should consult a government advocate. But none of the bills were sent to the AG of the state or Attorney General of the country. See, when the subject matter is in the state list, the governor has to sign it, and if there is any technical problem, like if he is violating any of the constitutional provisions, he can send it to the advocate for opinion. But all the 20 bills are lying with him without signature, and all these bills were passed by the Legislative Assembly.
No. What are these bills? Mr. Ilangovan, other than the NEET bill, what are the other bills that are pending before the governor?
There are 20 bills which we have listed and given as the Cooperative Societies Bill. is one such bill. So he doesn't want to sign any bill passed by the state legislature, which is elected by the people of the state. The question, the problem faced by the opposition-ruled states is that governors are not cooperating with the state government for, we don't know the reason, but that is happening in every state.
Okay, so SG Surya, what is the problem with the Cooperative Societies Bill? What's the problem with the online gaming bill? There has to be a reason why the governor is sitting on these bills, is the contention by the DMK. SG Surya.
Yes. We have listed the number of the bills.
Yeah, okay, let Surya respond. Yeah, thank you.
There are processes that are being followed in the state for quite long. For example, the appointment of vice chancellors. The government has passed a bill which will say the vice chancellor appointment will be happening without the consent of the governor. Now the precedent is for the last 70 years you have been following this system. The same DMK government, the same DMK party, when the ADMK was in power few years back, when they tried to bring such a bill, they said governor is needed to control the state government, so the governor should remain chancellors. Today they have overturned their stand. Now they have sent a bill which will say that the governor will not appoint the vice chancellors. Okay. We have seen corruption everywhere, that too in Tamil Nadu, precisely when DMK is in power. So they do not want the governor in that place because they want to indulge in corruption. That is our blanket charge. Okay. So every bill is like this. There are bills that has the technicalities. There are bills like NEET, which again is a dispute. But there are certain bills that he is taking legitimate time. I think, see, I am not the spokesperson for the governor. But the governor himself has clarified on different occasions. He has clarified on different occasions, pinpointing the bills, that why it is getting delayed. Okay, what is the due process he is following.
Let me ask,
what is the legal status, and etc.
Let me ask Virag Gupta, who is a constitutional expert. As per the Constitution of India, whenever a state assembly passes a bill, and in many of these cases, these are bills that have been passed unanimously. It's not just, one party or the ruling party that's passing those bills. Normally, the governor just gives his or her assent to those bills. In certain exceptional cases, the governor can send the bill back to the Legislative Assembly. They have to apply their mind again. And if they pass it again, then the governor has no choice but to sign or give his assent to those bills. Has that, constitutionally followed precedent now changed? Is that sort of unsaid Lakshman Rekha now changed with the instances that we're seeing of late in Kerala or in Tamil Nadu or in Telangana for that matter?
From this aspect, there are 2 points. First is that it has to be passed as per the jurisdiction of state legislature. And if there is any violation or if there is some central government interference is required, then governor can take the action. And second thing is, Constitution is silent that what should be the time limit. And this matter has come before many commissions and many Supreme Court judgments also. Now let us understand this whole debate in 3 aspects. First is, governor is normally a non-political person as per the Article 158 of the Constitution, though he may be representing the central government. Okay. Secondly, there are certain grey areas like assembly sessions or the giving the consent or as a chancellor, where he can have his own discretion. But in other areas, he is not an auditor, he is not some certain person that he can interfere in the day-to-day administration. Okay. For that, I think that we have to see that in double engine government and in other engine government, governor cannot have a different type of role. We have to see that in other state governments, whether governors are actively participating in such manner. Otherwise, as per the different, and this whole thing started in 1967. That's why certain recommendations were given in 1968 ARC. So we have to see that governor should function uniformly in all the state as per the constitutional provisions.
No, that's a fair point. I think that's a good point. I'll ask Surya that, but I want to go back to Mr. Elangovan. The fact of the matter is what Virag Gupta said, the Constitution does not prescribe, Mr. Elangovan, that the governor has to sign or give his assent to bills within 1 month or 2 months or 3 months or 6 months. The governor can sit on bills. The Constitution is not laying down a stipulated timeline or a deadline by which governor has to give his assent.
Yeah, because he is not running the government. We are responsible to the people. The problem is that elected democracy means it is run by the people, a group of people elected by the people. So state legislature is elected by the people. A democracy means state legislature does something which they have promised to the people. If the government keeps on holding the bill without giving assent to it, then what is the purpose of the promises made to the people? See, we must care for the people, not for the office. Governor's office is the only non-elected office. The Prime Minister is elected, even the President is elected by the MLAs and MPs. The state government is elected by the people. The office and
No, Mr.
There is
Elangovan, just one follow-up question. In the case of Arif Mohammed Khan, you can make the claim that, of course, he's a politician and obviously, you know, he may owe his allegiance to a particular political party or whatever. But in the case of Mr. Ravi, he's not a politician. He has been a career bureaucrat.
I understand. The bureaucrat, another bureaucrat, a similar IPS officer is running the BJP here. See, the question is whether the union government is controlling the governors and making them to act according to their whims and fancies to control or to spoil the state governments which are not run by the BJP government.
Okay, let me ask Surya this. I think that's a fair point. You can't have governors in double-engine sarkars behaving a certain way and governors in opposition rule states behaving in another way. Surya.
Zaka, see, they keep telling 20 bills, 20 bills and 20 bills. But if you go and analyze the bills, very few, less than 10% are the original bills. The others are amendments to the existing laws that are in place. You know about Tamil Nadu, when ADMK comes, they will make some amendments. DMK again, they will again do an amendment. So this is a continuous process. There are 3 bills which I know, Zaka. The entire purpose of the bill that is presented in the assembly is to curb the powers of the governor. That is their motive. So you check with all the states, it is not that immediately you get assent for the amendment bills also. Even if it is an amendment bill where there is a change in only one clause of the entire act, the governor is bound to do with the constitutional provisions. Tell me one thing, what is the bill that is stopped by Mr. Ravi in Tamil Nadu? That is, that is very, very urgent in nature. Can they claim because Mr. Ravi has not passed a certain bill that the state is in danger or something is affected and etc. It is a regular executive and the administrative process. I think they politicize it pointlessly. Can
Mr. Elangovan, is there any?
Challenge you 80% of the pending bills are amendment bills. They are not.
Is there any bill that is pending before the governor
that all the bills are pending?
That is material to the functioning of the state government. I mean, these are all amendments, as Surya says. And is there anything that is stopping the constitutional functioning of the state? Institutions from disposing their duty? Is there any bill that is hindering the state government's work?
The only criteria is that all bills were passed by the state legislature which was elected by the people of Tamil Nadu. That is the only thing which the governor has to oblige. The governor has to act as per the advice of the ministers. That is also there in the constitution. But this governor is holding whether it is an amendment or not. If it is a simple amendment, why can't he keep his assent? Why is he holding that bill also? What is the reason? See, if the governor is holding a bill for any reason, he should discuss with the state and say that because of this I am holding the bill. This is against the provisions of this section of the constitution. This is against any other law. That way he should approach. He cannot just keep it and without signing and keep it for quite a long time.
Okay. So let me ask Vivek Srivastav, in the case of Kerala, now the state government is planning to bring an ordinance, forget about a bill, an ordinance to remove the governor as the chancellor of all universities in the state. Now the fact of the matter is that for 150 years plus, since the time of the British, the university chancellors have all been governors of respective provinces or states. Why is the CPM government going to change a 150-year-old tradition because they have a problem with one individual in Arif Mohammed Khan?
No, it is not the problem with one individual. It is a problem which starts right from 7RCR where the Prime Minister resides. It starts from there. It starts from the party which is ruling the country, which has got malicious intent. There is a concept of a particular education policy which we do not agree with. We did not, nobody challenged all this for the last 70 years. The Congress had been in power. Other parties, the third front, parties came, parties went, governments came, governments went. But the process was never challenged because constitutionally, certain norms in the social fabric of the nation was always protected this way or the other. However, since 2014, things have changed in a very drastic way. Again, I'm trying to point it out to you. They are trying to challenge and change the entire education policy. The curriculum, false history is going to be taught. Stories are being cooked up. Okay,
but
you
Mr.
are rewriting
But
everything.
Mr. Srivastav,
So,
if this is the
yes.
case, it should apply across the board, across states. It should apply as much in BJP ruled states as it should apply in opposition ruled states.
Yes.
And
yes.
yet BJP is in power in 17 or 18 states in this country. There we don't hear this.
Electoral victory is one thing. I mean, there the union government and the state government both belong to the same party. So there's no confrontation. In Delhi, there was no confrontation when Sheila Dikshit was the chief minister, and there was Congress which was running the government at the center. But today, even if you take Delhi, I am not an Aam Aadmi Party supporter, but the governors, right from Najib Jung to the present governor and the Aam Aadmi and the ruling state government, they are in confrontation all along. All along, every day there is a Twitter war. So,
Okay.
I mean, the concept of the federal structure of this country is being challenged. This needs to be addressed.
Okay, let
very
me ask
strictly.
Virag Gupta, is governors having these frequent run-ins with state governments, whether it's in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, even the case of Delhi that Vivek Srivastava was referring to, does it undermine the constitutional and the federal nature of our polity?
Certainly it undermines, and it is undermining for last many decades, not only since 2014. And you have forget to mention about the Jharkhand episode where governor has not acted in the report of the election commission on the office of profit issue. Now three issues are there. First, those who are opposing the governor's power should understand that as per constitution, he has the bigger power than what the role is described of the President of India. Because President of India has to, in most of the cases, has to work as per the advice of the Council of Ministers. But governor has certain discretions. Secondly, whenever it comes
But Mr.
about
Gupta,
the legislation,
Mr. Gupta,
so
sorry.
in those
What the
legislation,
point that Mr. T.K. Silangovan and others are making is, in a democracy, ultimately the elected representatives are the representatives of the people. They must have the highest voice and the highest power.
That's what-
Therefore, any bills
what
passed
I'm
by a
saying.
state legislature should be given primacy.
That no, subject to three exceptions.
Okay.
And if the state government is having the majority, then governor should normally not interfere in day-to-day administration. But regarding legislation and the bills, there are three exceptions. One, if he's in the union list, interfering in the union list. Secondly, if it is in the concurrent list. And thirdly, governor is central government appointee, and if in any manner it interferes with the powers of the governor, then there can be confusion or there can be debate whether it requires consent or some approval from the union, because ultimately there is certain restrictions in the power of state legislature and state government.
No, tell me something.
But we
Tell me
must
something.
understand
In the appointment of vice chancellors, okay, there's a role for the governor. I can understand the governor's sort of drawing red lines there. But in banning of online gaming, in housing cooperative society bills, what is the role of the governor, or how is the role of the governor being undermined in any form or fashion, or how is the constitution being undermined in any form or fashion, or how is the central government's role being undermined in any form or fashion that the governor has to sit on these bills?
No, there are two aspects. Regarding online gaming aspect comes within the union list. And cyber and these IT aspects come within the union list. So normally state government has the law and order, police power is there. But to legislate on IT, I think that requires some central government intervention. Regarding cooperative society, we need to understand whether any central government funding aspect is there or not. So, but in any manner, governor should not hold the bills. They must give in certain time-bound manner their objections in writing so that they can be addressed by the state government.
Okay, let me ask T.K. Silangovan. I mean, online gaming, you have to have a law across India. You can't have one online gaming rule for Tamil Nadu, one for Kerala, one for other states. And therefore, it comes under the central list. That's why the governor is sitting on it.
No. See, there are many states which have banned the lottery. Some states are allowing lottery. In Tamil Nadu, lottery is banned. So, this gaming, these kind of things are certain states that made laws and earlier In Tamil Nadu, you cannot run a lottery, whereas in other states you can have lottery. So this is such type of a legislation that the state, we want to protect the people of the state when they are borrowing money, they are committing suicide. We have to protect the people.
So, but Mr. Elangovan, let aside the bills for a moment. Keep that aside for a moment. The political statements that the governor has made, whether it's on Hindi language, whether it is on NEET, whether it is on Dravidianism, that is the problem that the DMK has with the governor, not so much the bills that he's sitting on.
That is also there. See, the governor makes a statement. Tamil Nadu governor has made a statement regarding Tiruppuram. He said that G.U. Pope's translation is wrong. He doesn't know Tamil. The problem is that he doesn't know Tamil. Without knowing the source language, he makes a commitment. That is purely political and purely religious. He doesn't want to have a say by Tiruppuram that all men are born equal. What we say is, when we are living like that, these unnecessary comments by governor without even knowing the language, commenting on the translation. See, this is not fair. He is acting with an ulterior motive.
Okay, S.C. Surya, why should the governor make political statements, whether it's on Dravidianism, whether it's on Hindi?
Yes,
the office of the governor is a constitutional post. He should stick to constitutional matters. Why is he or she making public comments that too on political matters? Surya.
The very problem starts in defining what is truth and what is false. According to the DMK government, whatever they speak, whatever they stand for, whatever their ideology is true, and anybody who talks anything against it, it becomes false. Very simple. See, I really don't understand what is the problem with the governor here. If he gives his opinion to the public, is he not entitled? Does freedom of speech doesn't apply to the governor? See, you have built a narrative called a Dravidian narrative, and you have fooled people for so many years. When somebody comes and gives an alternate view, why are you panicking if your ideology is so strong? Let people have different views, and it is for the common public to take whether they accept it or not. Why are you really scared when somebody tells things that you do not like? So you cannot expect the governors to act as your rubber stamps, act as your mouthpieces. The very purpose of having a governor and having powers to the governor as enshrined in the Constitution of India is to have the check on the state governments.
Okay.
If the state government says you give not to whatever I ask for, I don't think it is the proper constitutional approach to deal with. See,
okay.
Do you mean to say everything that the state government does is right, and for everything the governor should just nod his head? He is not a rubber stamp, obviously. The constitution did not have the position of governor to act like a rubber stamp. See, there are so many administrative processes that is happening in every state. If you are part of an administration, you know without the cooperation of the government, you cannot run your day-to-day affairs. Nothing is affected. You just want to make political points out of it. You want to bring in issues to divert the people. Then you keep on blaming the governor.
All right. We'll have to leave it at that. I'm completely out of time. I want to thank T.K. Elangovan, S.G. Surya, Vivek Srivastav and Virag Gupta for joining us. So like I said, in the southern states, particularly from Kerala to Tamil Nadu and now today Telangana as well, there seems to be a direct face-off between the governor and state governments. Let's see how this story plays out politically over the next few days and weeks. I'm going to take a quick break here on the program. When we come back right on the other side, it's down to the wire in the U.S. midterm polls. Yes, the Republicans will carry through the House of Representatives, so they will win one chamber of Congress. The Senate is still really a toss-up between the Democrats and the Republicans. There is a good chance that the Democrats will hold on and retain the Senate. What may that mean, both for Biden, who may seek a reterm, another term in 2024, and also Donald Trump, who's promised to make a big announcement right next week. On the other side, we'll have a special voice from CNN as well as a panel joining us in just a moment.